confident where he went
I puckered
wrong.
up and bought myself a pressure pot, and let me tell you, it makes
Let's see if he's gonna
mighty
fix
short
it.
work of these bubbles. So a simple 72 hours.
No,
of
it doesn't look like he
later,
uses a
and I'm
pressure
left
pot
with
again.
This.
So I think I know what happened, and especially what it looks like. In the pressure pot, it puts air in to apply pressure directly onto whatever's in it, which in this case would usually force the air out the top by just pushing the resin down. However, as a non-modification that you usually have to make to pressure pots when you add it, it has an inlet that I believe by default points straight down.
Making a mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't spread over every egg.
Are you bullying me because I'm nerdging? Why are you being mean to me, Delta? I'm just trying to nerdge. All right. What I was saying for this is the inlet that comes in, usually, if I remember, most pots by default don't come with the attachments necessary. So the air, as it highly pressurized air, just shoots straight down. So this just shot straight down into the resin and blew it everywhere. So what you need to do when you get a pressure pot is you need to get an attachment that you connect to the inside that instead of spraying it straight down, sprays it to the side. So then it can eventually build pressure without spraying it directly into the liquid you're trying to pressurize. Didn't know what it did. That is A-okay, Delta. People like using that interrupt. Jump scared by the game. I love you. You're welcome, Jace. You're welcome. All right, let's see how he fixes this.
Isn't really what I was going for. I'm not really sure what happened. I tested for water tightness before I put it in the pressure pot, and there were no leaks, so I was feeling pretty good about things. However, being a little impatient, I thought I'd crack open the pot and see just how well it had
I like the
pressurized
dramatic
bubbles.
reenactment.
Upon opening the pot, though, I had a brief moment of frustration and said to myself, well, gosh, this isn't what I was hoping for. Darn, I guess it must have leaked. I'm not wholly sure where it went wrong, but when I opened it up, it seemed to have seeped out of the frame and was starting to cure inside my pot. Now I had a moment to decide, and I chose to sacrifice the snake and save the pressure pot. That being said, look at how clear that resin is, despite all those bubbles. So all in all, I'd say it was a success. Fortunately though,
Somewhat
I happen to
a
have another
success.
snake. And this snake is far and away a better snake.
I like that
He's
he's
got
just
way
like, I
more
made a
body
second
curled
snake.
around
It's
in a
better.
much more interesting way. His head is a better shape, and the paint job.
Okay, the
way more
head does look a lot better, and the eyes
Oh, yeah,
look a lot
and I
better.
also took the time to make some little bones to put scattered around him, because I thought that was a good idea. Now, I figured if I'm going to be building a spooky hunting hole in a water dirt pit, then I should at least fill the bottom
Oh
of the
my
pit with
God,
some dirt.
no.
So I mixed up a little resin, made an earthy potpourri of dirt, detritus, leaves, and rocks. Then I mixed it all together and poured it into the bottom of my new and improved mold in what is, I think, one of the more artistic shots on YouTube.
Oh my, Don't say it, chat. Don't fucking say it. I know what you're thinking. Don't say it. For the love of God, don't say it.
Now, to keep my snake from sinking to the bottom of the pit, I've given him
Damn
some
it.
little
He
stilts,
said it.
so
Never
he's just
mind.
sitting in the
Never
top
mind.
layer.
He said it.
Now, I did start adding the bones immediately, then I realized as I watched my skull sink that I probably should have waited till the resin set up a little bit more. So I gave it about 12 hours to get a nice thicky syrupy consistency, then added the rest of the bones around the snake.
Okay.
I let my dirty, bony mix cure for another 24 hours to make sure there weren't any egregious bubbles sneaking out during the big resin pour, and then I mixed up another batch of resin and tried again. And again, I was met with tragedy.
No!
It worked an absolute treat.
Nice. And the plex comes off. Oh, wait, it broke. Damn it. You blow it.
If anything, it
You're
was
breaking the
almost
plex.
too clear, but you won't hear me complain about that.
Say what?
Well,
Chocolate?
I just
Sure.
did, but you won't hear
Sure.
it again. Anyways, it's time for
Pudding?
me to make a dirty hole,
Sure.
which means
Yes.
I need a block of foam.
Yes. Why does it look like shit? Toji!
With my block professionally sized for my resin pillar, I'll mark out where I want the
Oh
hole
my
to be,
God.
then score it with my knife and carefully pop the center out.
Fuck.
Then score it with my knife and carefully pop the center out. I'll round the hole out, then start hacking at it with a pair of pliers before adding some nice rocky texture with my favorite rock texture device.
A rock. How do you get rock
Once I
texture?
got a nice
Smack a
rocky
rock.
hole, I'll give the
Smack a
entire thing
rock.
a nice dark brown
Rock.
base coat.
We must rock.
Then I'll add some.
Oh my god, I wish I had the Reggie Rock sound effect. Hi, Bill. Creature I now follow. Hi, Bill. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. My name is Martin. I'm to the Dark Carnival. I got bullied in Killer Clowns today, so now I'm pouting by being
So
adorable.
I decided to go with a nice short grass that you might expect to see.
I still don't understand how this thing works. I keep seeing other miniature folks use it. Here, let me go back.
Expect to see some guy's back
Real quick.
So I decided to go with a nice.
Like, I guess that's an anode or something, and it's causing a charge so that I guess the grass stands up. I don't fully understand it.
Short
I've seen
grass
tons of other
that you
people
might
use
expect
this,
to see in a well-kept suburban garden.
but it's interesting to say the
To attach
least.
to the base, I'm going to use a bead of clear silicone. This will work both as a glue and a sealant, so when I press the grassy dirt hole thing onto the top, it'll create a nice airtight seal, so that when I add my next layer of dirty, swampy resin, it doesn't leak out the sides. I wanted the main body of the resin to
Sure.
be nice and clear so you can see the snake, but I wanted the top layer to be sort of swampy so the snake is hidden underneath. To help with that,
Mini
I've added a
static
bunch
generator?
of
That's
twigs
what I
and
was thinking,
roots and
something like
bits of
that.
plant matter, then sprinkled
I
leaves over
figured
the
it was
top.
some kind of electrical
And
thing
once
that
the
caused
initial
charge
resin
so that the
cured, I
grass
added
would
some
actually
little
stand
ripples
up.
moving outwards from the hand. Finally, to spruce it all up and make it look a little more natural, I added some little pebbles to the grass, then sprinkled a little foam flocking around the edges, followed by a dusting
Okay.
of little leaves. A quick spritz with isopropyl alcohol, followed by some thinned out Mod Podge.
Okay,
to hold
he's
it all
gonna
in
he's
place.
gonna do the Mod Podge mesh. I was like, are you
Then
gonna glue
finished
them
in
down?
here, onto the glamour shots.
Glamour shots, glamour shots. Really well.
As always, a huge thank you to my supporters over on Patreon to keep this channel running.
I see that big bubble
You
back
don't
there.
wanna skip
I see
a
that
week.
big bubble
And of
back
course,
there.
A massive shout out to my newest patrons, A Deity's
All right.
Rage, H. Buncore, Elenia, Hot Mess Sketch, Finny, Solace, Rocky Star, Stefan Philip DeMeyer, Caleb Brakowski,
Flawless.
Levi Corin,
Flawless.
Ryan M. Williams, Captain Crayon, Weasel Ton with the 2
Ooh.
tons.
Okay, we'll do this one.
Hey folks, my name is Alan.
Oh my fucking god.
This world is what you need, where the monsters roam and the demons all feed.
I got spooked. I got spooked. Hi Oz, how was your stream? How was Apex? Did you have a good time? Did you have fun? Did you get into any trouble? What shenanigans were you up to? Welcome in, Raiders. I hope you had a good stream. I hope you enjoyed your Apex Legends. Did you beat up anybody? Did you beat up any children? They deserved it. They deserved it. They're home for the summer. You can beat them up in all the Apex. Again? What do you mean again?
Many nerdy things. However,
How dare you?
Today I'm going to change it up and
Also, let me get you all the
make a
captions.
tiny spooky thing.
Yes, tiny spooky things.
First things first, though, I need to make a pool. Fortunately, I've got a bunch of old scraps of MDF lying around that happen to be exactly the right size once I cut them down to the right size.
They'll be the right size once I
To
cut
make the
them.
tiles, I'll mark out 1 centimeter intervals
Perfect.
on the X and Y
Perfect
axes
strategy.
so that I come back through with my V chisel to carve out the grout lines.
Oh. Okay. Damn, that's sneaky. Extra sneaky.
Then
All right,
I'll
prime
repeat
it.
the process on the bottom and side panels and
Prime
then
it.
give everything a few coats of white primer.
There you go. Boom, here and there.
Now, I was trying to figure out how to best make this
Hello?
extra spooky, and I thought to myself, what's spookier than those pot lights on the bottom of a pool? So I marked out 4
Oh.
equidistant tiles, drilled some holes through the bottom of the MDF, and then filled them with resin.
Okay.
Then I made 4 teeny tiny clay rings, painted them chrome with my fancy chrome markers. Then I stuck them in place and filled the top with a bit more resin.
Oh. Okay.
Finally, to make the ladder on the side, I'll cut a couple pieces of shiny armature wire length, then bend them into an appropriately pool ladder-like shape.
Gotcha.
Then I can make the rest of the pool side using a little bit more resin.
More
Of course,
resin.
my pool is looking a little too clean at this point, so to gross it up a
We
little
need
bit,
grime,
I've mixed
grime.
up some very thin, very runny, rusty brown paint. Then I'll add to the ladder around the corners, the pot lights.
It does look cool. It's
and
gonna look
kind of
even
all
better at the end
willy-nilly
product.
wherever
It's
I
always
feel
like watching the process is super fucking cool, but it's
Then
always
using
crazy
a
how
no
it comes
to
together
me
at the
makeup
end.
sponge, I'll dab some greens all over
Veggie
the place
mention?
before
Veggie mention?
sprinkling bits of
Nah,
dirt and
Veggie's
detritus
busy.
around the base.
Veggie's doing
I'm
Halo.
going to be using a bit more resin as glue, since actual glue doesn't tend to react very well to 2-part epoxy resin. Otherwise, the pool is finished and I get started on my
Wouldn't Mod Podge work?
Skeletopus?
Skulltopus.
Octoskull? I don't know. From this point forward,
Skulltopus.
I'm just going to call him Terry.
Actually, we'll call him the specialist for this one. Faye, what is a skull octopus? What's the official naming for a skull octopus?
Skull, since that's kind of the most important part of the octo skull, or at least it's tied in importance with the octopus part. But at any rate, starting with the skull gives me a nice big base to work with. Now, I originally intended to make the skull like an octopus's skull. Then I remember that
Skulltopus?
octopus
Got
don't
it.
have
Skulltopus
skulls
it is.
or skeletons at all. So I'm just going to go with an oversized human skull. Of course, given that this is a huge humanoid skull, it's safe to assume that this is not anatomically correct. So don't come at me in the comments about how I've made the zygomatic arch too thin or the infraorbital foramen is too deep. Terry's skull is one of a kind
Unsubbed.
after all, so let's just leave it at that. Finally, with the structure finished, I'll use this
Fuck
tiny
this
nylon
channel.
brush to poke the entire
Unacceptable.
surface, giving Terry's skull
Unacceptable,
a
I
nice
say, as my
porous
biology
texture.
degree. In minor training in forensic anthropology. How
And
much is
once
that
it's been cured
skulltopus in the
oven,
window?
I'll use my scalpel
More
to
than
cut
you
the
can
tiny
afford, poor
crimps and
man.
fingers. Otherwise, Terry's skull is done, and I can get to work on his octo
Chip it
appendages.
up, let's go. X-Acto knife. Don't take off a finger, though. X-Acto knives are always sharp as fuck. Is the group called the Skullopoid? Yes.
Terry's skull is made out
Actually,
of chrome
it's
super
the,
Sculpey, but I'm
oh,
gonna be
damn it, I
using
had an
cosplay
idea,
for
but
his
I lost
arms
it.
because I want to make sure that I can squeeze
It's
him
an
into the pool before I
osteopoid.
build the frame
That's
for
what
the
it is.
resin.
It's an
Also,
osteopoid.
cosplay is nice and bendy, so I don't need to worry
Osteopoid.
about building an armature for each of
Osteopoid.
the arms. Instead, I can just squish the 8 appendages directly onto the base of the skull and then move them around
Smack it
until
on
I'm
there.
happy
It's
with how
fine.
they
Just
sit.
smack it on there,
At
smooth
this
it out.
point, I'm not really worried about texture or detail since I'm only interested in getting the length, shape, and position correct. I will give the bottom of each tentacle a bit of detail,
Alright,
but
doesn't
I
seem
won't
like he's
bother with
put
the
any
top yet, since I'll
What's
just add
in
clay
them?
later.
I don't think.
Now I can't put the resin-coated MDF pool in the oven, so I've made a stand-in out of cardboard. This will allow me to position Terry accordingly and make sure that when he's baked, he'll fit my pool perfectly. To keep the vertical arms vertical during the baking process,
Oh, this
I
is
can
stressing
also
me
use
out.
a little painter's tape to keep them from sagging.
Stressing me out.
And with the initial appendage bake a roaring success, it's
Okay.
time to start adding the rest of
Maybe a
one
suction
final
cup
bake
is gonna
later,
be-
and Terry is finished and ready for painting.
Oh,
We'll start by
wow.
giving a once-over with a nice thick coat of white gesso before giving his big old octo skull a coat of well-used bone white.
Ooh, bone
Now,
white?
before it dries completely, I'll dab and scuff the skull with a sponge, soaking up any of the pooling paint and ensuring Terry has a nice varied patina. Then I'll paint the tops of
Oh,
all
this
his
model then
tentacles
has
with an
extra
appropriately
eyes? Hell
spooky
yeah.
dark purple.
I'm
and the
glad you like
undersides
it.
With an appropriately
Why did you take my
spooky
hair?
Underside pink.
Gannon. You're in trouble, mister.
Finally, I'll paint
Nobody
the
else
tops
has
of the
to worry.
tentacles with
Nobody
a
else has to
lighter
worry. Hi,
purple
Ziggy.
Before highlighting all the
Twins.
edges with a pretty much white
Gannon.
purple highlight.
Is that what
Then
this
the
was?
suction cups get a dry
Was it
brush
because
of
the
pretty much
Skulltopus
white
was-
pink,
Wait, what was it?
and Terry's ready for the pool.
Wait, I forgot what the professional said. Okay, it was Skulltopus.
To make sure Terry isn't lonely, I made a normal size skull off camera that's totally anatomically correct, so no need to look too close.
Don't question it.
And I made a few more bones and ribs and fingers and
Wait,
toes
if that's the
to
head
go
of-
with
if that's the head of an
unfortunate
actual
swimmer's
human,
skull,
then this
and it's
octopus
time
isn't
to
that
build the
big.
frame for the resin.
Yeah, Plex. Time for the satisfying Terry. Let's go.
I'm here for octopus reasons.
Oh, good. Here, let me resize you. We must make the wife more visible.
More visible. Excellent.
How did I get here? Did you come in on Nia's stream or did you come in on Scotty's stream? Or on Oz? What were you watching before this? Was it just chatting?
Now,
Was
with
it
the very
Cyberpunk or
close
was it
attention to the resin
Apex?
pouring technique, you may notice that there are 1 or 2 bubbles.
1 or 2?
Because
Yeah,
this
sure.
resin is incredibly
There's
slow
like
to cure and
3.
is designed for deep
3
pours.
bubbles.
I was kind of hoping that it would essentially degas itself over the course of the week
That's
or
a
so it
bold
takes to
statement
cure.
there, champ.
However, by day
That's
3,
a-
I realized
I forget what
that
this
it
guy's
was
name's
not going to
Adam. That's a
degas
bold
itself,
statement, Adam.
So I ended up pouring the syrupy
Bold
stickiness
strategy,
of
Adam. Let's see
semi-cure
how it
resin
pans out.
and mixing up a new batch, making sure that I didn't introduce any new bubbles during the mixing. Then I cried over the totally wasted gallon of resin, and I went out and bought a pressure
Yeah,
pot
that's
in
the-
the
yeah, a
hope
whole
that
gallon of
spending the
resin
extra
is
now
something to
reduced
cry
the
over.
cost of all my f***ups later.
Not the whole
Minor hiccups aside, a
gallon.
week
Wait,
later,
wait,
and I'm
wait,
ready
wait,
for the
wait.
best part.
What did he say?
Bought a pressure pot in the hope that spending the extra now will reduce the cost of all my f***ups later.
Doubt.
Minor hiccups aside, a week
Doubt.
later, and I'm ready for the best part.
You still got a bit of a mess there with all the resin. How did it overflow?
It's north of the border. It always overflows.
It's never perfect. There's always bubbles.
Never.
It's okay. We can fix it in post.
It's always bubbles. The Plex never comes off cleanly.
With the mold removed, I'll
Wait,
trim
what did
any-
it do? It came off easily. It's fine.
With the mold removed, I'll trim any of the resin that creeped up the
Wow.
sides, then flip it over and drill some holes into the underside for my pot lights so that I can run the lighting later. Before that, though, I'll cut some
Okay.
styrofoam to length to cover the back and the side so that I can build out the pool side a bit more.
Oh, yes, that will be useful, especially because you put a ladder that is currently connected to nothing.
You don't have a floating ladder in your pool?
I mean, I have my pool in the abyss, which kind of looks the same.
Okay, well, see? Floating ladder. I figured your aquatics department would be up with the times, but I guess not.
Back to the pot lights, I'm gonna use some little LEDs, but I don't want the beam
I don't think
to go
I don't
straight
think you
up,
want to.
so
I
I'll
don't think you
flip
want to
the
cross
ends of
the
LEDs.
head of
This
the aquatics
disperses the light
department.
a bit more, giving a wider beam. If you
Probably
do it
not,
properly,
based
it
on
also
what you
means you've got little bits of
described.
glass
Not
all
gonna
over the
lie.
floor that make walking
Describe
barefoot
Poison,
a
the
bit
head of
more
the
exciting.
aquatics department.
I'll stick
The
these into
Megalodon
pot light holes
mermaid.
and then lock them in place with a little
I
bit
will
of
not
UV
square up with a
resin.
megalodon. One of the
Otherwise,
The
it's just
50-foot
gonna run
Megalodon
wires to
mermaid?
their respective
Go on,
battery
square up with
packs.
Poison. I'm sure it'll
Ideally,
work
I would have all
out.
4 running on a single 9-volt
I
battery,
mean,
but I don't have any 9-volt
Yes,
batteries.
but not
so
in a
instead,
way
I'm
that's
just gonna run
appropriate
them
for
in
Twitch.
pairs.
Okay, understandable. Same.
Finally, I'll attach a base with a cutout for easy battery access, and I can get started on the top.
All right,
To
what are you
start,
using for
I've
an
measured
external
out a thin
switch,
piece
though,
of
there,
L-shaped
champ?
XPS foam, which I'll then attach a couple extra thin strips of foam to the edge before adding some teeny tiny paving stones.
These not count as wormy dealies. Oh, I was like, wife is gone. It's because Tommy came in.
I disappear.
I didn't
No
kick
more
her
wife.
out.
Wife gone.
Oh no!
To
Oh,
prime and
why
protect
did we
the foam,
go
I'll
down?
mix up
What
Mod
the
Podge with
Because,
black paint and
Phase-
apply a liberal
Pika G is
coating
her whole
over the
body.
entire surface.
It is indeed my
Lord.
entire body.
And then
Baron, your
once that's
previous name
dried,
was
I'll give
Baron
the whole base a
Biologist?
nice
No!
gray base coat and the edge tiles a nice
It's okay
dark
though. I
gray.
have been talking to
And
Izzy
add
though
some
about
quick shading
designing
and
a
really
summer
make the
outfit
texture
that
stand
will
out. I'll give the
include
entire
both
base a
fishing
black
parts
wash.
and diving parts.
I need to get you a hat that says "Fish Fear Me."
I'm literally looking at the hat.
You
it's
do?
hanging on my doorknob. It's the
Then I can
MILF, man.
dab
I
up
love
the
fishing.
excess, leave it to dry, and then
Oh,
hit every
no, I
time
meant
with
like a
light gray
PNG
and
for
white
the
dry brush.
little model.
Oh, Am I confusing two people again? No, I haven't had the previous name, but you were thinking, you're thinking of 7-Eleven when he comes in. He's always like, he always points. It's just like Marin biologist.
Tiny strips out of a thickish
There are
sheet
many
of plastic
benefits
card
to being a
until I've
Marin
got myself
biologist.
a nice bundle. And then to
You
cut
know
my
the
bundle
biology
down
of
to
a
sticks,
Marin.
I can finally use my chopper.
I don't think anybody else wants Chopper.
This is one of those things I bought years ago thinking I'd use it every
Motley
day,
go round.
and this is probably the second time it's been
Marin
out
go
of the
fay.
box.
What are we chopping?
Oh,
But oh man, do it ever
My
chop
hopes and
good.
dreams.
Do it ever chop good?
Oh, it do chop good.
I mean, you get the same measurements every time. It's perfect. The cork board,
Several hours
though.
later, I've got a surplus of tiny plastic sticks, and I'm ready to glue them.
Okay,
in
so I was
place.
guessing these are going to be like the great.
is this like a miniatures?
Yes, this is dioramas. He's making a
pretty.
Skuldipus diorama. This is going to be a pool, but this is like the edge of the pool.
Now they are perhaps a bit
A
too clean,
Skuldipus?
so a quick
A
dusting with an
Skuldipus,
off-white
it's
should bring
very
them more in line
scientific.
with the pool, and then I'll use
I had-
the
I
same
had to
rusty
consult an
brown
expert
color
on
to give
it.
everything else a bit of
Hi.
grime as well. Otherwise, the top is done and it's ready to be
Oh,
glued
that
in
is
place.
pretty.
All right, what is he going to use? Okay, he's just going to bend it. Good. Good.
Now, before I finish the rest of the base, I want to tape off the resin so
Ooh,
that I
no
don't get
We're
floating
gonna make a
ladder.
full
Ooh.
display case here.
Speaking of which, I'll fill all the gaps using a mix of hole filler and PVA glue. And once
A
that's given
mix?
ample time to set, I'll go back through with a sanding block and make sure all the sides
Diorama?
and seams are smooth.
Maybe
It's a very accurate descriptor for a lot of what he makes.
foam sander.
Diorama
Then I'll
implies the
coat the
existence
entire
of a
base in the
liverama.
same black paint and Mod Podge mix that I did
My
for the top
God.
before
gonna say,
prematurely
there's quite a few
peeling the green
liveromas out
painter's
there.
tape off. This way, I can apply the same gray base coat and black wash while worrying about getting it all over the resin.
Just like how Marin go round implies the existence of Marin go flat.
Proud of yourself, aren't you? Proud of yourself, aren't you?
Listen, don't.
I didn't
don't-
have to look at
don't
chat to see the redeem. I immediately just looked at the model and was like,
I'll start by applying
yep,
a thick
that's
layer
par
of
for the
gloss
course.
Mod Podge, and then using my
You did
airbrush
good,
to
you
spread
did
it
good,
around and
Tommy.
create
Good.
ripples.
Hey.
I started using a straw in my lungs, but after passing out from a
Just
lack
wait till
of
Dice
oxygen,
does
I
the
decided
animation of
maybe
where
I
all that
would use a
goes.
machine. Then I'll sprinkle some
I tried using a
detritus
straw,
in
but
the
after
corners,
passing out.
wherever I imagine leaves and junk would gather, before adding
But
some
after
tufts
losing
of
all
grass
the
and bits
air
of
in
dirt
my
and
lungs,
leaves to
I
the top.
decided,
I'll then hold
perhaps
this
there
up
was
against
a
Zipporama
the
and
better way.
diorama implies
glue
the existence of
and then
undeadorama. Yeah, we're looking at it.
Yeah, the Skulltopus.
Finally, as icing on the cake, I'll make a tiny closed for cleaning sign and then hang it off the ladder.
Something that I would
Otherwise,
really
we
love to
are
have the
on to
bottom of
glamour
like a
shots.
computer case.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that heals and
Okay,
such, because I'm pretty
Angela
sure you can get it in
Gaxiola,
clear,
Bob
and
Bay,
that tends
Undead
to be
Hope,
pretty temperature
Michael
resistant.
DeMoro, Lucia Rodriguez, Clara Cranor, Nate
My brain was
Ellen
thinking
Berry,
also there's-
Rob
I
Birch,
wonder
and James Juries.
how well
You are the
marine resin
multi-tentacled
works.
horror that keeps this oversized skull of a channel pumping out silly videos
Because
every
there's a
week.
good brand
If
of
you'd like
marine
to help
resin, which
out,
I think I
then
put
check out
on
the links in the
Throne. I don't
description.
remember for
Leave a
sure.
comment, hit that
Will Marin go
subscribe
triangle
button,
be the
and do
Illuminati?
all the other video-related
Shut up.
things. Otherwise, we'll.
I
see
wish
you
I
next
had
time.
the
Cheers.
what was it? Hold on, I got it. I think I have something. Let me see. I don't think this is it. No, that ain't it.
Why was that so sinister?
I was looking to
folks,
see if I
my name is
had.
Adam,
No. But no, I was looking to see if I had a
Hey,
what do you
folks.
call it? An X-Files sound bit, but I don't. I don't have the X-Files sound bit.
Boo, boo, boo,
Yeah, like
boo,
those
boo.
Pokemon ones. Those look really, really nice.
Ooh. I'm gonna say, yeah,
I
like these
love. That's the Bowser that makes Chibidoki say, "Take my money."
Christ. He does a lot of spooky, but SpongeBob Patrick looks horrifying. Kirby eating various things.
Biologically accurate Winnie the Pooh.
Oh God.
Oh god, it's bear. Just bear.
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 Pokemon fusions. I hate the realistic Steve.
Wait, there's Hulk Yoda.
Huh? Oh yeah, Hulk Yoda.
Mr. Tr-
The realistic. Oh my god, did he make the realistic Lego Man? I've
He sure
seen the
did.
realistic Lego
Oh,
Man.
Lord.
That's why 6.8 million views. That'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll
Mhm.
do it. That's why we've seen it. Wow.
There's Kirby with 14 million.
But I think we've covered all of his like resin poor ones.
The Sharkosaurus.
We've seen the Sharkosaurus. Don't be fooled by it just being a section. We watched the whole thing on stream. That was like the first one we watched whenever we found him.
Okay.
Mhm.
I kind of want to see the King Slime one.
Hey folks,
Dave,
my
you don't have
name's
to tag
Adam,
me
and
every
I
time you
like
want
tiny
me
nerdy
to
things.
read something.
I've been on a bit of a Terraria binge at the moment, so to finish
It's
off this
poor
month of
etiquette,
monsters, I
sir.
figured I'd
Marin,
make the
hello.
slimiest boss of them all, King Slime. Of course,
Hi, boy.
King
No
Slime
idea.
is a big slimy translucent.
It's been a long time since I
blue,
played
so naturally I'm gonna
Terraria.
start with
Good
a big
night,
bucket of
Lone Wolf.
brown.
Sleep well.
This bucket of brown is monster clay, which is a wax-based clay that's pretty darn hard at room temperature, but being wax-based, with the introduction of a little bit of heat, you can get a nice soupy chocolate sauce.
Wait, what? Why is
Great
why is
for
like
Thin scalding vat of brown
slightly
glue,
harder
you can
footing.
scoop it out and form it into
From
a
the makers
soft
of
ball
Is It Cake?
brown.
Is It Resin?
Oh God.
it's not resin, it's clay?
This not quite so edible, oversized
You've never-
chocolate
have you not
truffle
heard
can
of
then be
monster clay
gingerly
before,
shaped
Marin?
into a
No, I
nearly
haven't done
smooth,
anything with
slimy
clay.
half sphere. As it starts
It's
to cool
really
down,
cool.
it'll get
A lot
harder
of
to shape
people
until
use
it's
it
nearly rock
in the
solid.
effects industry for their mask and
At
prop
which point
building
I can start
because
I am
it's
not
so
surprised.
stable
smooth out all the small
at
cracks
room
and
temperature
seams
because
that
it is
would have otherwise
wax-based.
been too hard to
So it's
fix
really
while
only
it was still
affected by like
goopy
high
and droopy.
heat.
Finally,
We
I've got a
had
mostly
in
smooth
my
surface with a
university
few minor
classroom, we actually
imperfections
had a
that can
full
be fixed
bust
like most
someone had
things
done in Monster
with the
Clay, and it
application
sat there
of an
for
open
years.
flame.
Perfectly fine.
The
Pickles.
fire will help to
Wait,
heat
How
the
could
surface
you?
clay that
enough
never
to
dries?
smooth it with my finger or some
Monster
silicone
clay,
tools,
it's not
as
so
well
much
as add a
that
layer
it
of
needs to
excitement and
dry
danger
or
to
really
an otherwise
cure because it's made
entirely
of
too
wax,
safe
and wax doesn't
project.
really cure
Eventually,
it.
I've got
It's
a
either
nice round
solid
Slime
or
King-esque
liquid.
dome, so one
So as
final pass
long
with the fire will
as
soften
excessive
the
heat
last of
isn't
the
applied
surface,
to it,
and I'm
it'll
ready to
hold
make
whatever
a
shape
mold.
you put it in.
I'll transfer my opaque chocolate king to a slightly
Is the
larger perspex surface
ambient
that's
temperature
surrounded
of the
with
human
top
body
half of
high
the
enough to make it
broken
too soft
bucket.
if
You
it's
can,
up
of
against
course, use a
skin?
non-broken
No.
bucket, but
Okay.
you might find that without the hole in the top,
Marin is
the silicone
spiffy.
just runs down the sides and your mold doesn't really
Marin
work.
is
God damn it, you guys.
Otherwise, I've got a
Come on, you gotta
watertight
follow the
seal, so it's
rules. I
time
mean, I
to
want to
mix
say, like,
some
you don't have to tag me every time because it also turns into like a pop-up on my other browser and
This
keeps
is a
blinking
two-part
at me.
addition Cure silicone, which gets mixed in equal parts A and B. I don't
Let's
really
say,
know
I've
You
what
seen
it
your
smart
movie,
asses.
but
I
if you
do
want to
know
look
that
at your
when this
model,
stuff
we're talking
cures,
about
it cures
blinking
hella
stuff, huh?
fast. Really, this means that you've got a limited amount of time to pour your mold before it starts to set. But it also means that it's
I'll
ready
put
to
you.
be
I'll put you in a
molded in
fucking
less than an
hamburger,
hour,
Tommy.
which
I don't
for someone
care.
with my
I don't
patience,
care.
Hey, look, as long
It's
as I'm
about
seasoned
58
right and you got
minutes
the right
too long.
sauce, fine,
So after
okay? But
giving it a nearly
don't do any of
appropriate
that like
40
high
minutes to
credit
set, I
Karen
can
shit.
cut and peel the frame back and free my brown
I'm putting
king slime
avocado
from
on you.
his icy skim milk prison, leaving me with
Fuck,
a
you think this
perfect
is
impression
Panera Bread?
ready to be filled with a bunch
Yes.
of blue resin.
Mashed avocado on a burger on
However,
toast.
before I do that, I want to
You
make
would
a
never.
teeny tiny decomposing ninja to fit in the middle, and to make sure I don't make that little ninja too large, I'll chop my brown temporary king in half so I can figure out
But
proportions
Marin,
and
I'm
reference the
allergic to
size as I
avocado.
go.
Are you eating the same burger?
Now,
can't
if
have
you're
it
not
for
aware of
dinner
the
day?
lore of king
I'm
slime,
right
you may
here.
be
I was gonna
wondering
make
what
you a
relevance
separate
little
burger.
Decomposing ninja has.
Oh, well, that's
well,
fine then.
apparently the ninja
Who's
is
the
a
other burger?
former hero who attempted
There's
to defeat
you.
the king
You're
and
gonna make a
failed,
lot of
thus
burgers.
resulting in a
Biggles
rather
will get a
unfortunate
burger.
ending. The
Why would I
decomposing
make a
bit
lot of
is
burgers?
more of an
I don't got
artistic
that much meat.
interpretation on my end.
Yeah,
Now,
but
in
you're
order
still
to make a
portion
properly
sized.
decomposing body that's only the size of my fingertip, I figured I'd work
Lot of
my
good
way
cuts
I'm probably
there.
just gonna put it all
levels
into
of
Chuck. Honestly,
decomposition
I don't
and
think I'm
climb
gonna
up the
bother
first
kind of
stage.
cutting
That
it
means the first
separately.
thing I need
It's
to
all
do
just
is
gonna
make a
become
little
Chuck.
bony body, or a skeleton for
Smart.
you book
Saves
learning
time.
folk. To that end, I've made a little skull and attached a spine, then added a rib cage and some hips.
What are we supposed to
onto
not
which
to
I
do?
can
God
glue a
damn it,
pair of
Assy,
bony
you
legs
smart
before
ass!
Moving back to the back and adding some shoulder blades, which in turn get a pair of little arms added onto. I wanted the body to be curled around itself in a semi-fetal position, so I've brought the knees to the waist and crossed the arms over. I can then make some little feet to attach to
Little
the
feet.
bottoms of
I'm
the
doing
legs,
because
and
literally
some
sleeping
little
46
hands that
seconds of
attach
searching
to
for the
tips
letters
of
because
the
I don't
arms.
didn't know it was knowing Baron Bolt. Yeah,
With
this
my
is what they do.
skeleton
Hi,
looking
Goku.
extra spooky, I can start to build up the fleshy bits by adding
Azzy is
lumps
also
of
cool. I
white
like that
flesh
Azzy
toned
is
clay
neat.
onto the bones, leaving sections uncovered to add to that decomposing.
Ooh.
look. I'll then slop a
Ooh.
couple eyeballs in place and add a screaming
Oh, yeah,
mouth
'cause
before
slime's being
removing
acidic.
one of the eyes, because reasons, I guess.
The eyes would be the first
Otherwise,
thing
with
to
the
go,
majority of
though.
the bony boy covered in clay skin, I can add the torn and tattered ninja outfit
doesn't
on
need
top,
his
which I'll
eyes.
do by
Not where he's
squishing a
going.
blob of black clay extra flat
What are you
and
gonna do,
tearing it
fucking
apart so it
see?
looks like
Nerd.
well-worn ripped cloth, which I can then
Nerd.
strategically drape across the
Imagine
body.
seeing the
Nerd.
baby.
Finally, for the last bit of
Oh,
decomposition,
the dude
I'll
is a
paint the
ninja that
fleshy
got a
bits
low
with a washed out
agility roll.
brownish red.
Yeah,
as well
it's
as
'cause
give
it's
the
one of the things you
exposed
can find
sections of
inside the
skin
king
still
slime.
Stuck to the bones a deeper red touch-up, before finally giving the black cloth an extra black base coat, followed by some aggressive dry brushing to make
I'm
it look
just
like it's
thinking of
tattered and
various
worn.
scenes from the Blob.
Some final
This is what
checks to make
happens
sure my
inside of a
body fits
pregnant
my
lady, a
slime
strange
king,
white
and I
man
can
putting you
remove the
together
rod,
with
rammed up his
tweezers
butt, and
and-
attach a tiny, nearly invisible length of fishing wire,
Oh,
which I'll
no.
use to
What?
suspend him upside
Yes,
down
Prima.
forever into
Yes,
my king
Prima.
slime mold.
No.
And with that,
Oh,
it's
no,
finally
no,
time to
no,
mix
no,
some
no,
resin.
River and art resin. Huh. Really?
King
Prima?
slime is a very
Prima,
good
it
but
doesn't
still
seem like you're making a good
translucent
case to
dome
get
of
your diamond
slime, so
back.
once I've mixed my
Maybe I'll have to give it to
resin,
somebody
I'll
else.
probably too
You know
many
what?
drops of
I think I know
dye.
somebody who
I also wanna
deserves-
make
who
sure
deserves
that king
the,
slime is
diamonds.
bubble-free, so to
Ooh, I
remove the
thought that
bubbles
emoji was
from my
Palm for a
resin,
second.
I'm gonna suck them out with a vacuum.
There you go.
You're gonna suck who out with a vacuum?
This is a vacuum chamber, and it works by some
Vacuum
sort of
chamber, vacuum
magic
chamber,
I
vacuum
don't
chamber.
understand. The general idea, though, is that a little pump pulls
Bad
the
and
air
naughty
out of the
chatters go
chamber,
in the vacuum
creating a
chamber to be
vacuum that pulls the
degassed.
bubbles up and out of the resin, leaving me with a lovely, clear, bubble-free resin ready
Somebody
to
got
be
the diamond.
poured.
Somebody now has that diamond.
Yeah.
Finally, once I'd filled my slime,
I put it
molds,
through the
I
vacuum
had a
chamber,
tiny
only to
bit of resin
immediately
left
create more
over, which
bubbles.
Felt like the perfect excuse used to make some smaller slimes. This is Oyumaru, which is a reusable non-stick molding material, which I guess I used to make counterfeit 1 pound coins at some point.
Sorry, I
To
can
reuse
Counterfeit
the mold,
1
I'll fill
pound
a little
coins.
container with boiling
I
water
had a
and drop the
Twitter
putty
video
in.
going up,
After
and for
a few
some
minutes,
reason it just
it's
started
nice and
playing with the
malleable,
noise.
so I can
One of the
reshape it
people
into
who
a
got the
round
diamond
form,
already
which I'll
spoke,
then
and they
jam
have
with a
not
load
noticed,
ball
apparently.
stylus. I can then make a few more of these ball stylus molds and fill them with my leftover resin. Then it all gets set to the side for 72 hours.
One
to
day they
cure
will
while
notice.
I get to work making the
One
king's
day.
One
crown.
day.
To make sure my crown fits my still curing slime king, I'll reattach my halved brown king.
Witchcraft.
And to make the crown, I'll start by making a frame I can sculpt on top of out of an old roll of tape that I'll cut down and reassemble until it's roughly the size I want. I can then cover it in a thin layer of yellowish gold clay, into which I can
Oh,
start
making
to
the crown.
cut the
Duh.
crowny accoutrement. Mostly this involves
I
using
zoned
these
out and was like, wait, what is it,
scalpel
Megan?
and teeny tiny cookie cutters to remove
Pretty
roughly
shapes,
equal
don't worry
amounts of
about it.
clay
It's just
until I'm left
geometry.
with
Oh,
none
oh,
of clay,
okay.
At which
Bad.
point I can start to return
We already
the
had to
removed
deal with
clay to the
algebra and
crown until I
trigonometry
got a
earlier
shape
with
I'm happy
Shadowrun.
with.
You don't need to. Don't
Once
worry
I've got
about
the
it.
proper shape and styling for the crown,
Scary. I
can
just
start
wanna-
to
I just
bejewel
wanna
it
be
by
really
sticking
cool
some
robot
pre-baked
bitch in
gems into the
Shadowrun.
surface and pressing them in.
I'm sorry,
Kinky
Mary. You
minky
have to do
dimple.
math.
To lock the shape in place,
No.
and once it's been baked, I can remove it from the cardboard and
Only
tape
math.
frame, sand the surface smooth where the clay's crept up, then remove the gems and set them aside.
No diamond for
With the
empty.
gems removed, I can
I'm still
give
waiting
the
for the person to
entire
realize
crown
that they have a diamond.
shiny gold top coat, followed by a watery brown wash
What,
that
they
adds
said
some
anything
shade.
or no?
No, they haven't
It's
said
a
anything. They said
Crown's
something
dry, I'll take
earlier,
my
but they
gems
and it has
line
the
them up
diamond
and
next to their
stick
name,
inside
but they
of
haven't
some
noticed.
Painter's tape.
Everybody type 1 for the sake
Then
of
give
typing
each of
1.
them a color-appropriate glazing so they're a bit more gemmy looking before gluing
Is
them
the
back in
diamond under
place
one
on
of our
the crown.
chairs? Maybe.
Finally,
get
for
a
the
Maybe.
final shiny
You
shine,
get
I'll
a
give each
diamond.
of the
You
gems a
get a
coat of
diamond.
UV resin. And with that, King Slime's crown is finished, and through the power
This
of
is some
editing,
bullshit.
roughly
This
72 hours
bullshit.
have passed, so we can remove the king from his mold. Because I didn't get the clay completely smooth, my silicone
Lord.
mold left a slightly opaque finish.
Is
to
the diamond in
resin.
the room
You
with
can
us?
get around
Correct,
this
the
if you
diamond is in
coat
the room
clay
with
in
us.
Something like a varnish to ensure a perfectly smooth surface. But
So
that means
does
it's hard
the diamond
to reuse
go
the
in the
clay.
square hole?
Fortunately, it's easy
Yes.
enough to fix by adding
Oh,
another
good.
layer of resin on top. I'm just using UV
All
resin here,
belongs
which
to
is
the
a bit of a
square hole.
faff to apply over a
Everything
surface like
fits in
this
the
and
square
ensure it
hole.
cures clear all the
It
way around.
goes in
But
the
at this point, I've run out of
square
time,
hole.
and I can't wait for another layer of proper resin to cure. So UV
triangle,
resin
where
will
does it
have
go?
to do.
In the
Also, because
square
the Slime King is a
hole.
slightly wobbly dome, the little decomposing ninja
The circle,
inside
where
is
does it
barely
go?
visible.
I dream.
And as
I dream
Stephen's
one day the
suspicion is
person that
the
gets the
case,
diamond
but
will
I couldn't
notice.
think of any way around
One
it.
day.
Basically, because
feel like
the
the
dome
longer they
distorts the
go
light,
without
it
it,
makes
the
the
more you're
image
just gonna get
inside look
frustrated from
wonky,
it.
and it's
Nah,
made
it'd
worse
be
by
funny.
the fact that the Slime King dome
It'll be
isn't
funny the one
perfectly
day that they
smooth.
realize.
In fact, the only section that's
One
perfectly
long,
visible is the
drawn-out
bottom
bit.
since it's flat, and that's the only spot no one will ever see. Thankfully, I've recorded the entire process, and at this point, the video is basically
Marin,
done,
you're going to
so
be very
you may as well
disappointed in me,
stick
but I
around
want
to the end.
to chew on it.
Otherwise,
It's
the little blue
shiny and
slimes have also
appetizing
cured,
looking.
so I can
I know, it
pop
does
them
look
out
really
with
appetizing.
brushes and get to work making a base for my slime.
And then we get our little slimes.
No,
Little
that is
slime
I would
friends.
choose- I would eat the resin gushers.
I'm gonna make
Same.
a nice grassy pasture for my
Same.
slimes to frolic in, so I've cut a sheet of XPS foam to size, and I now want to cover
All
All right,
right,
we're gonna break out the
which
cool,
I'll make by
nifty
mixing
little
together
grass
some
thing that
wool
looks like it's been
filler,
used since the
matte Mod
90s.
Podge, brown paint, more brown paint, and a bit
Whoa.
of sand for texture.
Look at this.
That's red.
grass.
Just added red in and was like, that's brown.
I'll then slap this onto my foam
Appetizing.
flooring and spread it out nice and thick, then set it aside to
It looks
dry
like slightly
before
melted chocolate
realizing
ice cream.
I probably should have painted the sides black before adding
I was
the
thinking
mud.
weird peanut
Once the
butter,
mud's dry,
but
it's
that
time
works
to
too.
add the grass,
Almond butter.
which I'll be doing with my all-time
Yeah.
favorite material, static
Mountain took my
grass.
diamond ring. I sold it at a pawn
This
shop.
is a static grass
Here's
applicator,
the
and
grass.
it's used to apply static
The
grass.
grass.
Brrr.
These things are so fascinating to me.
To apply said static grass
witchcraft.
with the static grass applicator,
Okay,
I'll
that
paint
looks like a
way
brownie.
too thick a layer of PVA
It
glue over my
does.
muddy foam wherever I want the grass to stay.
had a very
then
nice brownie
violently
earlier
shake
today,
the
speaking
applicator
of.
over the surface. The
don't
applicator
think
applies
Baron's gonna
static
be able to eat
electricity
to
the
do any
grass as it
resin around
falls,
anybody 'cause
forcing
we'll
it
be
to
too
stand
tempted to eat
upright
it.
as it hits the glue, leaving
That's
me
true,
with
we
a
will
lovely
be.
little grassy field. I can then flip the field upside
Alright,
down.
I'll
and
be right
tap
back.
off
Just
the
head to the back.
excess.
God damn it.
All that's left to do then is drop
Which
my
one of
king
you
slime in place, add the
motherfuckers
quintet
ate
of
my
little
resin
slimes, and that's us
slime?
done here, and onto the glamour shots.
Okay. This is how I found out that we're divorced. We're not divorced. I got you a better ring. Go check the closet. I stole Elvis's jacket from Graceland while they were trying to do the auction.
At
Smart.
least you didn't touch his blue suede shoes.
Nah, those are still there. They noticed that too much.
As always, a
I stole
big
something from one of
thank
the
you to my
closets.
lovely patrons and a
It's so
special hey
neat.
how
It
are
looks
you to
like
my
one of those
newest
little
patrons,
raindrop
Sunny
cakes.
Madoka, Bobby Laporte,
I don't try to eat this one.
Spray 190,
Oh, I know.
Samuel
Because your teeth aren't gonna be able to punch through it.
Diaz, Purple Kitty Woman,
Have you forgotten
the
what I
Oblivion
am?
Creature, Zwei, Luck of the Draw, Draven.
I don't think it's gonna feel
Maru,
good
Walani,
crunching through that.
Raluca Constantini.
I don't
think it's- I don't think it's gonna be the
fun texture you're looking for.
Spaghetti or
How will I
Candace for
know if I
short,
don't
and
try a
Magnus
little bit?
Newton. You are the
All right,
big
fine, you can go
slimy
nibble
blue
on
goo
it.
that encases
Yeah.
this decomposing body of its
That's the
shell.
one thing I want to
As
get
always,
into when I
do
get
make
to
this
like
video
the
then.
dioramas part,
Dare
probably
you. This is a
after
personal
figuring out
video I
Dias
made
and being
for me
comfortable
and
with
my
Dias,
friends
is I want to
watch.
start
How did you
making
even get
dioramas of
here?
friends and sending it
Otherwise,
to them.
we'll, see you next time. Cheers.
That could be cool.
It's gonna be a
think that'd be
fucking
really
pain to send it though.
You
Just
could
have
make
Kono
your...
surrounded by resin titties.
Oh
you
my
mean great
god.
tracts of land?
Yeah.
Wonderful tracts of land.
Massive-
Vast amounts of land.
Large
Massive
personality.
tracts of land.
Tracts of land.
Rolling
It's-
hills.
The
It's free
Adora
real
real
estate.
estate.
Oh my god. All right, that is gonna be it. That is gonna be it for tonight.
Yeah.
Oh god, why is that suddenly so loud?
Loud noises.
Loud noises. All right, who's streaming? Who's doing
What did
what?
the voices
Astaroth
say?
is drawing himself doing a kickflip.
There's Goopy.
Incredible.
What is the Goopter doing?
Goopy is just chatting with words on stream.
All right. Sushi. Uh-oh. Why do I have caps lock on?
2 years.
Sometimes you just have to say things really loudly, and so caps lock is on.
No, I've been there, but my keyboard doesn't have the notification for caps lock on the
Ooh,
top. It has it
Shadowbox.
on the side, and apparently I still have it turned on.
Oh,
Goopy
dear.
just angled. Aww. Aww.
Angled.
All right, we'll go read Goopy. Sushi. 2 eyes. Make sure that's right. All right, that is perfect. We are going to do the crime brulee. It is crime brulee time.
Crime brulee.
Either that or I need to make a new command that's just, where's my blinky? The zoomed blinky, and it's just, I eated the resin. I would like to blame Nomad for always making me think anytime we put something in Discord, it's going to be like, Nomad ate it, didn't he? Because Nomad eated everything we put in there.
Okay, but like it looked like a raindrop cake and it looked like it would be blue raspberry flavor. And are you really judging me so harshly?
No, I'm not judging you at all because it does look delicious. I just think you're going to have great amounts of disappointment and I don't want you to be disappointed.
You care so much about me.
I can make you an actual raindrop cake.
Yay.
All right, guys, but I will be back tomorrow, noon CST. What are you two doing any day, anytime this week? Speedrun, let's
I'm
go.
playing Final Shape.
I am having a celebratory good job on getting through surgery stream on Wednesday.
Let's go. The toofs are working properly now.
Yeah, everything healed up real good.
Oh, that's a cute wiggle.
Until next time, though, guys, have a good night. Yeah, that's Kaya's. Kaya's a goofball.